guys, we are here talking today about a really important topic, and that is jazz hands. Okay, we are going to talk about jazz hands, but that's not why we're here today. One of the really frustrating things to watch when I'm watching other speakers and presenters is a lack of using their hands. I mean, you see people, we've all seen it, you see people standing there with their hands crossed in front of them in what I call groomsman pose, or crossing their arms, or trying to not close off their body. So instead they just stand there awkwardly with their hands by their sides. None of those things are good. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have the overly expressive person who uses so many hand gestures that you can't actually hear their message. Like, hello, can you turn on the volume on your hands? Because I can't hear you. Neither of those is really what we're going for when it comes to being an exceptional communicator. And I know that's exactly what you're aspiring to become. So today I'm going to teach you how you create an environment within your physical body to ensure that you are ready to use hand gestures. So whether you're a person who uses hand gestures overtly, it's just way too much, I'm going to teach you how to rein it in and be more effective. Or maybe you're a person who just is uncomfortable with your limbs. That's okay too. That was me for years. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'm a really tall person. I'm 5'11", which means I have super long legs and super long arms. I mean, my wingspan is longer than, some men that are 6'5". Truth. So I was really uncomfortable for years with my arms and my hands. They're long. I have piano's fingers, which was great for piano, but terrible for trying to look like a supermodel in a magazine. I digress. For years, I was so uncomfortable with my limbs. So if you're feeling that way too, I feel you. I feel you. And what I can tell you is I have gotten way more comfortable with it over the years. In fact, I feel totally comfortable using my hands and my limbs in everyday conversation or on stages of 1,000 people. I still don't love the fact that I have monkey arms, but I've learned how to use them in a way that doesn't look super awkward. And actually, it becomes part of my message delivery. I'm definitely what I would classify as a hand talker now, but now I use it in a way that's actually effective. And I believe that you can do it too. So today I'm going to teach you 3 simple strategies that you can use just to prime your physical body to get in the groove of using hand gestures. So let's get started. Number 1, you have to make sure you have the right posture. What usually happens for people who tend to cross their arms in front of them is their shoulders are just slumped. When you slump your shoulders, your hands and your elbows, everything just goes forward and you look like a pretzel or a scared, unconfident person. That's not what you're going for as an exceptional communicator. So easy fix. Drop those shoulders back. It opens up your chest. And more tactically speaking, the difference between this and this is wonders to where your hands go. Watch. Shoulders forward. What do I do with this? This is awkward. It's just painful watching. Like, how? So you won't use your hands if you do this. Granted, you feel safe and comfortable, but no. Shoulders back. See how it instantly moves my elbows back on top of my hips. And what it does to my hands is it puts them in the prime location for me to use them naturally. So tip number 1, get those shoulders back, open up, and ensure that your hands are placed appropriately. Tip number 2, find your home base. Okay, what do I mean by that? Home base for your hands. If you don't practice and get intentional for a place to rest your hands when you're not making gestures, you will default back to old habits. So whether that's doing the groomsman pose, or putting one arm behind your back, or crossing your arms, or fidgeting with your hair, or the list goes on, I'm sure. If you don't come up with a natural resting stance for your hands, you will fall into old habits. So let me give you an example of a few of what those could look like. So 1, maybe naturally you bring your hands together like this. I do this often. Or maybe it's like you're giving yourself a handshake. Your thumb goes into your palm and you wrap those hands around and just very gently like this. Maybe you make a slight fist with this hand and bring the other one over like this. Maybe it's just something like this. Now, the common thread within all of these is my hands are soft. I do not have tight grips on any of these. Like, that's just not good. Soft hands. Bring it into a stance. This might be another one. Bring it into something where you can just have a resting moment, collect your thoughts, and then move into the next gesture. So have a home base for your hands, or you'll fall into bad habits. Tip number 3, get comfortable with the beach ball zone. Yeah, I said beach ball. You know, like those blow up balls that we all had as kids every time we went to the beach? Yeah, the beach ball zone. Okay, I totally made this up years ago when I was answering a common question I received from presenters. And that was for 2 camps. One, people who were overly expressive with their hand gestures wanted to know, was it okay? Were they talking with their hands too much? Or there were people who were so uncomfortable with the idea of using their hands, they didn't even know where to start. I want you to stand up for a moment. I'm going to teach you the beach ball zone. Okay, no, seriously, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Okay, I want you to put those shoulders back. That means your elbows are going to drop back a little bit, and put your hands into a natural stance. Oh, you look good. Okay, let's just keep going there, you. All right, I want you to, I have a beach ball here. Catch it. You got it? Okay, so we both have, let's pick up another one. Okay, we both have a plastic beach ball. Yes, we're using our imagination right now. Just bear with me. We have a beach ball in front of us. It's about this big. Feel it. You feel it? Okay, that circumference, that size that's in front of you, that is what I refer to as the beach ball zone. And what do we do with it? Well, this area here, this is the land where your hands go. This is where you make your natural hand gestures. When you are speaking and presenting in front of an audience or you're in everyday conversation, the majority of your movement should fall within the beach ball zone. And that, my friend, is my tip for how expressive hand gestures become contained within the beach ball zone, or people who have no movement whatsoever, it gets their hands placed in a comfortable position in front of them where they're more apt to naturally use gestures to communicate their message. Okay, we covered 3 things today. That's your posture, having a natural position of your hands, and lastly, the zone in which we should freely move our hands to make a point. Now, I'll end with saying you don't have to stay confined to the beach ball zone, but the majority of your movement should fall within that. But every once in a while, you want to do a big bang, make a point. It's okay to do that, but you should have the majority of your conversation fit within this area. I hope these tips were valuable for you and you'll take one step in the direction of becoming more comfortable using your hands, not just for the sake of using them, but for purpose and intention to make your presentation delivery more dynamic and charismatic. And if you want some specific tips on power moves that you can use to make your gestures even more impactful, well, check out my next video.